Welcome back, family, old and new, to another Back Issue Book Club. I'm Greg, that's Rich.
Hey, what's up?
And this week we started a new little 2-month project, KnightTerrors from DC. Thought it would be cool to do something current. So last week we had KnightTerrors First Blood #1, which is like the main KnightTerrors book. KnightTerrors Batman #1, KnightTerrors Black Adam #1, Poison Ivy #1, Ravager #1, and the Joker #1.
Yep.
So 6 books.
Yes. I have no idea who Ravager is. It looks like Deathstroke's daughter, I guess.
You got it.
Okay.
Yep. Her name is Rose. Like her regular name is Rose, and Ravager's, her moniker. What'd you think?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was.
I mean, some of the books I liked better than others.
Definitely.
I did not like the Black Adam book at all.
100% forgettable. I honestly, I try to remember.
It's so easy to write the dialogue for that book. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Yeah, I guess for that one, he's like trying to do his like supercharge up or whatever, and it's not affecting the bad guys that are, or like the zombie kind of creatures that are attempting to get to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the gist of that one, right?
Yeah. I'm glad that we actually ended with the Joker, because the Joker one was just hilarious. I
thought that was such a fun, refreshing, like it was like a palate cleanser after all these other ones.
Yeah, throw him in the trunk. We came in the bus. Then steal a fucking car.
Right. How about when his supervisor came into the break room to talk about how he's
the graphs?
Yeah, and it's just like all over the place.
Not quite sure I understand where all these graphs are going. He just picks up the microwave like, I'm going to fucking.
And then he fucking does.
I mean, what would be a nightmare to the Joker? Being stuck in the office and being a normal worker.
That was the cover. Him sitting in a cubicle with a cup of coffee. And I was like, I already want to read this. The cover was so great.
He's working for Wayne Industries. Oh, my God.
Right, of all places, yeah. So it's funny. Like, it starts off normal, and they're battling Batman, and Batman he like trips Batman on the top of a building.
No, Batman just kind of like...
Or he stumbled?
I think it looked like he lunged at him, and Joker sidestepped and just stepped out of the way, and he slipped, fell, and whacked his face and killed himself.
He was like sliding across the roof of the building and then off the other end.
Yeah.
And they were like, poke him with a stick.
Yeah, and at that point, I'm thinking of Megamind.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I didn't want him to die, actually. That takes away all my fun. Now what do I do?
Exactly.
I just want to watch Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, that was...
You can do whatever you want to do. Well, I want to watch Desperate Housewives.
Right. That was funny. What'd you think of Poison Ivy's Stepford Wives one?
Oof.
That was interesting.
It was, and I feel kind of bad because you see where everything is driven from. That, look, people say we're crazy or we're criminals and we have to be locked up. We just want to be left alone. Which is kind of the gist I got of Poison Ivy all along,
Yeah. She's not like a Joker where he just wants to set everything on fire.
Yeah. Some people just want to see the wheels burn.
Exactly. I thought she raised some good points about like, because the other normal person, I forget who it was, the blonde lady, came in and
from HR.
Yeah, and she was like
Joan from HR.
She was like Pam, like, don't you see what's going on here? And she's like, yeah, I do, but
Harley's happy, and I have to keep her that way.
And also, like, maybe I just need to accept it and be happy too. Like, she was starting to like think a little bit like that. But the art got kind of creepy when it had like the whole Bat family, like,
yeah,
Joker smiling, and you saw like Batman flipping burgers on a grill with like a Hawaiian shirt and stuff,
shorts, and still wearing the cowl.
Yeah. So good. I loved it.
And Selena Kyle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. those are all kind of tongue-in-cheeky. What'd you think of the Batman one? That was more serious.
That was the first one?
After the first main book, that was the one where this, I forget, Insomnia, I guess is the entity's name.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't understand. You can't scare me. I've dug into my soul and found the scariest parts or whatever, and he kept going back and forth about that.
Yeah, and Insomnia trying to tell him, you don't understand, I'm not doing this. You do this to yourself. So the deeper you dig, you're going to find out there's levels of this that you never went to.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of a quicksand situation.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy. Watching a young Bruce Wayne kicking the crap out of everybody was a little bit weird, but...
Well, and then...
I understand it was still the mentality of an adult Bruce Wayne in his mind.
Yeah. And then at one point, I don't remember if it was before or after that, like the entity of the Batman like came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
That was wild. It was good art in this book.
There was good art in the majority of what we read.
Yeah, I'm trying to think actually. I don't think there was one where I was like, ugh.
I think the first book, the origin one, the very first one.
Yeah.
That was a bit muddled in a lot of scenes. I had to like keep looking at it, zooming out, zooming in. I'm like, what am I looking at? I don't get it. There were just a few frames that I was like, oh, please don't tell me this is going to be one of those series where I don't know, I can't tell what I'm looking at. But after the first book, you could tell there were different artists each time, and they were pretty clear. They were pretty spot on.
Now I want to see it because that was the first book I read, and I read it a little bit ago. Oh yeah. This is like one of those artists that like does multiple lines, even though it's one defined. Like the arm is defined. He puts like three. It's like very wispy. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like you're looking at a 3D comic book, but you don't have your glasses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Yeah. I mean, I still think it was way better than Department of Truth.
Yes.
But this was, I agree, the worst of the 6 that we read.
Well, I'm glad that we read that one first because it made me worry about the rest, and then I was able to appreciate the other books that much more. If we had read this one last, that would have been like the flavor that was left in my mouth as we getting ready for this.
Yes.
Instead, we read Joker last.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the Ravager book. That one was
putting me to sleep.
That one was kind of... I liked it better than the Black Adam book because I remember there was a twist at the end where she was like, I'm you, and I have to get out of the dimension by going through you.
Somebody has a foot in each world.
Right.
And then the nightmare version of herself stabs her and says, no, you don't understand. You're the bridge.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny how they were like, she was acting dumb, and she was like, kind of, and Ravager was like, conduit? And
that's it.
And then right then, after that, the next couple panels is when she's like, I'm taking you to get out.
Yeah.
So.
It kind of reminded me of, what's the name of the character in Sandman that, Nightmare?
The guy with the mouth eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's trying to, stay, go from this world to that, to our world and stay there permanently.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. That's kind of the overarching thing where Insomnia, this, I guess, night terror entity is trying to do that. And all along the way, we're getting glimpses into these characters' worst nightmares.
See, I mean, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people that read these going, oh, well, they stole this from this story and this from this story. You got to realize that there have been, 1930, 1940, 80, 85 years of comic books from how many different companies. It's like trying to make a cartoon that the Simpsons have not done.
Probably harder.
So no matter what storyline you come up with, even if the writer did not read what you're thinking of. Maybe it was just influenced by it, but just realized that there have been tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of comic books. Just every storyline in one shape or fashion has been done. So you're going to find things that are borrowed or similar or homaged or
Yeah.
from them. If the bottom line is, did you read it? Did you enjoy it? If so, shut up.
Has somebody been complaining? That you heard of, or you just were preemptively?
No, yeah, I'm telling myself to shut up because actually I was complaining as I was reading it.
Shut the up.
Yes, exactly. You.
Oh, well, that shows a very high level, a very high, what do they call it? Emotionally intelligent behavior there.
I thought it was going to be schizophrenia, but okay.
No, it's very good.
This is copying this. Who cares? Shut up. Who asked you? Nobody. Okay.
Well, I mean, you could say the same about like music at this point. How many songs have been written? You know, it's as long as it's not like a facsimile, then you know. Bum bum. So was my thought right that you didn't really need any prior story happenings in order to start this one? This kind of was like a blank slate, I feel like, right? For the most part?
It is for the most part, yeah. I
think there might have been a couple little asterisks of...
Well, is Selena Kyle, everybody seemed to be pretty surprised when they saw her, like, is she dead?
No, I don't think so, because there's an ongoing Catwoman book right now.
Right, you're like, Selena? I'm like, was she dead in the waking world? I don't know. I wish I would have known who Ravager was. My only exposure to Black Adam was the movie, so all the lines that he said I heard in The Rock's voice.
Just like Kevin Conroy in Batman?
The entire Joker book was read with Mark Hamill,
of
so
course.
hey.
I could not stop thinking of, A, reading it in Mark Hamill's voice, B, the fact that we talk about that we read it in Mark Hamill's voice while I'm reading it.
I would love to see Mark Hamill reading this book saying, wow, I wish I could have read this storyline as a Joker. Being in an office environment, I think he would have had a blast.
Oh, probably.
You have, like, playing the Office music in the background or something. It would have been perfect.
Yeah. Talking about, like, weekly reports and other bullshit like that.
Yeah, what's the was it a TP report or whatever?
I always want to default to TPS reports because of Office Space, but I'm trying to think.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah, TPS reports.
Yeah, because I never watched that show.
The movie?
Either. Well, no, I watched the movie.
That's what the TPS reports is from, Office Space.
Okay, I watched the movie. I wasn't overly enthused about it. Never watched the TV show. I do know that they referred to that in The Mandalorian. So, in season 2, episode 7, The Believer.
Gotcha. All right, let's see. He says, the last time I saw something this ugly was when they pulled Mr. Goodman's head out of that microwave. Oh, wait. Well, that's another thing. He kept making these literal references to like awful things that happened, and people were like, Joker, you're so funny.
Yeah, no, Batman's dead. No, seriously, he's in my closet at home.
And then they're like, like a pause and then laughing even more.
Yeah, and then the next scene, you see him sitting there in his boxers, drinking a beer with Batman's corpse just kind of hanging out there.
I think that was the ending panel in the book.
Decomposing, hanging out of the closet.
Anyway, clearly, I think you can tell by how much we're covering one book versus the other. The Joker was the standout of the first batch here.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through it and I keep wanting to talk about stuff, and I'm like, oh man, like when they go out for drinks. And he ends up having the tie on his head and talking about, why nobody wants to drink anymore. I wasn't going to put poison in it. I might have, but probably not. Stuff like that.
Karen, come here.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is I got to remember that this is a nightmare. I mean, I keep reading it. I'm like, wait, so is Batman alive or is Batman in his closet? So, I mean, is there a different Batman? And then I'm realizing, no, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's, what would be the nightmare to Joker would be not only taking away his fun, making him work a job, but then hearing that other people are having fun with Batman and he can't find him. That would be
or
the
if
ultimate.
or if Batman is no longer there for him to play with in general, like, because I mean that's pretty clear. I'm looking at the last panel. He's sitting there with flies going around his carcass, hanging in the coat closet.
Right, but everybody's telling him Batman's back. Oh no, Batman did this. Batman did this. Batman, and he hears on the TV, Batman foiled this robbery and that robbery.
Yeah. In city news, the Batman broke up a major jewel heist last night. The police say that this is the fifth major burglary that Batman has stopped this month, and all the while, like I said, the Batman's behind him as he's sitting there with a clicker.
Yeah, so it's not only is he not having fun with his favorite guy, other people are.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that one.
Yes. If you're going to read multiple, save that one for last. That's your dessert.
Yeah, I would just, at least for this first week, just follow the graphic that I'll link to the graphic, which shows like the reading order and stuff, and read in that order, at least for this first
they're
week.
quick reads. They're quick reads.
Yeah, not too heavy lifts.
Green Arrow? Yeah, sure. We
can kill Green Arrow. Oh, so good.
Yes, I am. I am excited for this week.
All right,
I didn't look at I didn't look to see what books we have coming out. Are they continuations of the same stories, or are we getting 6 new characters?
We are getting new books. So,
Oh boy.
I guess Night Terror's First Blood was like the omega of the Night Terrors. So this week we have Night Terrors #1. Night Terrors Green Lantern #1. Yes.
Okay.
Love that cover on that one. It's freaky.
Be living in a yellow world.
Maybe. Yeah. Night Terrors Robin #1. Night Terrors
Okay.
Shazam #1. Hopefully it's better than Black Adam #1. Night Terrors The Flash #1. That'll be probably cool. And wrapping it up, Zatanna #1.
Zatanna is...
She made a cameo in the very first one, I believe.
Yeah, she's trying to, from the outside, she was trying to analyze what was going on, then she wound up falling asleep.
Right. She was like, I know it's not magical-based power, but I'll try to help in some way or something like that. What was... There was a funny part where she was like, basically like, shit, before it all went down. Oh, and Dead Man was in the first book very much. It was cool to see. It was cool to see Dead Man.
That's the first time I've ever read Dead Man. I didn't know he was such a wise ass. He kind of reminds me of Deadpool.
Much earlier.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
no,
Dead Man is a copy of Deadpool, bro.
Dead Man was from the 70s, isn't he? Early 80s or late 70s?
Definitely 70s. Probably early 70s, I think.
I think it was like a 20-cent book or something like that. That was his first appearance.
Where is that? Zatanna. There was a... Unless I'm thinking of a different book, but... oh, no, yeah, here. So Zatanna always... when she does her spells, it's basically her speaking backwards.
So I didn't know that. So now I'm going to have to go back and reread those panels to see what she said.
So these panels, Detective Chimp, Wonder Woman, and all right, let's see. So she says Nakawa, Rednow, Namau, DNA, Evitseded, Pamik, which is her saying, her doing a spell that says Awaken wonder and woman detective chimp. Okay. Awaken Wonder Woman and Detective Chimp. And it doesn't work, and then she says Park. P-A-R-C.
Crap.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry, that took a lot of brain power for me apparently, but now you know, for this week's Zatanna book, she'll probably be doing some spells. So,
absolutely. But if she's in her nightmare, will those spells work?
Don't know. We'll have to see.
I'd love to see a cameo from Freddy Krueger, but the entire world is in a nightmare.
Ugh.
It's like Six Flags.
Anyway, it'd be cool if there was some Easter egg in the background or something.
Yeah.
That's how they could do it. Like the first Harry Potter in comics. That's not really Harry Potter.
Yep. So, what would you rate this though? What we've been reading so far.
I'm always wary of like events because a lot of times I haven't read too many, but people talk poorly about them a lot of times. I would give this a 7.
Okay, I'm gonna issue 3 grades here.
Okay.
One for the worst book, one for the best book, and one for the first as a whole for the first 6 books.
Okay.
The worst book being Black Adam.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, it was really nothing. But the good thing is there's so little dialogue. I read quickly, but I'd have to give that an even 5.
Yeah.
I didn't like it or dislike it. It just was.
Yeah.
The Joker book made me laugh and almost snort a couple times. I have to go for an 8.5 on that.
Nice.
And overall, I'm right with you as a 7 for the first 6 books as a whole.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. It's been fun so far, and it's nice that it's not. It's hard when a book is like hard to read. Either there's too much dialogue or too much words, or it's not flowing in a coherent way for me. Like it like makes it a heavier lift. So, like you said, I think these read pretty nimbly. Nimbly.
And not once in any of the 6 books did I have a problem going from panel to panel, figuring out which was the next panel. They were laid out properly. I didn't have to go like, oh, shoot, let's just read that one first because it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Do you have one that you're looking forward to this week? We got Green Lantern, Robin, Shazam, Flash, Zatanna.
Zatanna.
Yeah, I could have guessed that.
Well, I want to learn more about the character. It's the one that has been explored the least in movies, and I'm a leg band. What can I say?
Robin will be cool because it's going to be Damian Wayne.
So it's a continuation of the story that we already read.
Yeah, there was a little backup at the end of Batman of Damian hitting up, I forget who, but at this point, Ra's al Ghul has passed away. And he's like, you're as stubborn as your grandfather was.
Yeah.
What was he doing, though? He was trying to learn he was going like Doctor Strange, trying to get all the knowledge from all the books about how to do something.
Fight nightmares?
Yeah.
Or no, he was trying to learn how he could go without sleeping as a human.
Yep.
And the guy's saying that your body will take a great physical toll. And he's like, I could deal with that.
And he opens the scroll, and there's a picture of Dead Man and Ra's al Ghul. And then the guy comes, Insomnia, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he like tries out the tactic he knows or learned, and he said, it worked. I can stay awake, and I remember my nightmare. I must find my father, and then Insomnia will pay. And then it says, continued in KnightTerrors number 3. So I guess we'll get the build up to that story in Robin.
Okay.
Cool. This is fun.
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, next week, I already said what we're going to read. Make sure to like and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to it. It's available everywhere. Back Issue Book Club, Team Ohana. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Team Ohana, if you want to get free pulls from my pull box once a month. And extra information on our Remember Me picks, a third pick from each of us. We do our watch-alongs on there. Right now we're watching Secret Invasion, which I think we're both really enjoying quite a lot.
Yes.
As opposed to Reddit and other people. But you know what? Don't care. I'm enjoying it.
Also, the winner of the new Comic Book Day comic books each week. If you're a Patreon member, you get an extra book.
That's 3 free books if you win. Man.
Yep.
So nice. And then, just polls and interaction with us on a more regular basis. Trying to think of, I think that's it for the most part. That covers it. Back issue, you get this podcast way early, so
Yep.
that's cool too. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, in that case, don't forget to like and subscribe on the video if you're watching on YouTube. Share it with your friends and your family. Hope you enjoyed it. Until we catch you guys on the next one, mahalo.